I'd like to call the Village of Ashwaubenon Public Works and Protection Committee on Tuesday, October 6, 2020. Roll call, please.
Gary Paul.
Here.
Allison Williams.
Here.
Joanne Euclid.
Here.
And Donovan Miller.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Action on the agenda.
Move to
Any
approve.
corrections?
No, move to approve.
Move to approve. I got a first, a second.
Yep.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Minutes from the last meeting, September 1st, 2020.
Move to approve.
No, wait. I need a correction.
You got a correction, okay?
7B,
Hold it, let me catch
I
up.
voted no.
And you voted no.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, we will correct that. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Action items. Comments from the public. Must be limited to items not on the agenda. Must state name and address, limited to 5 minutes. Board's role to listen and not discuss on the items. Personal issues cannot be discussed. Board is not able to take action at this time. Looking at anybody here for the public comments? If not, we'll move on to item 7, action items. Action on appeal to deny operation license. Krista M. Jost, is it? Okay. Do we have any comments, I think?
Well, if I may, Mr. Chairman, before the committee is a communication from Krista Yost, who is appealing her denied operator's application. Along with the communication from Ms. Yost is also various letters of reference from various individuals. Also, if you have any questions of Ms. Yost, who is in attendance, I would ask the committee to suspend the rules for interested parties to speak, as Ms. Yost has brought an individual from the district to also speak on her behalf.
Okay. Would
Chief,
you
do you
care?
hold on, Chief, do you want to?
Yeah, if I may,
Oh,
just,
you're going- Okay, then
Yep.
I wanted to get your comment on this,
yeah,
Chief.
just real briefly, I'm just going to explain the process that I use. When I review these alcohol licenses, it doesn't matter who it is, I look at it to see what they've listed in the application, and if they've listed all the offense as is indicated in the application. In this case, she listed that she had a conviction for possession of cocaine. As I go through the guidelines, and I'm just going to list the guidelines that I go through and what I follow. So my guidelines are all felony convictions in the prior 10 years. Those that are related to alcohol and drug convictions are automatic disqualifiers. A drug conviction in the previous 5 years, 2 or more convictions are immediate disqualifiers. A habitual law offender, a conviction for alcohol or drug impaired driving offense in the previous 2 years, currently under court order to use IID device in their vehicles, traffic citations, not alcohol or drug related in criminal nature, don't have to be listed or reviewed, and failure to disclose it on the application is an automatic disqualifier. So her listing on the application was that she was convicted for cocaine possession. However, she had several charges, but her true conviction was possession with intent to deliver cocaine. And she also failed to disclose operating without a license and speeding in 2017. So when I look at the applications, as I said, no matter who it is, I look at what's listed, and if it's not listed accurately, it's an automatic disqualifier. I will also say that the prior convictions, although they were just under 10 years ago, the type of convictions that were there would be an automatic disqualifier for me. So those are just how I do things when I review these, and what my guidelines are. So that's why it was a denial for me, and then she's obviously here to plead her case now.
Okay, thank you, Chief. I want to thank you for doing this because we've had a conversation the last time about you going through the process and then we as a committee giving somebody their right to go ahead and then let them have their license renewed or can be renewed. I just want to caution you people on this. I think it's something that we should take a good look at and respect the time and effort that the chief puts into this. So if you would like to come up and plead your case, Christian, please step up.
Do we want to open the floor?
Do we have to open the floor?
Once Mr. Slate speaks.
Oh.
For her, you don't need to open.
I'm going to, okay, I didn't think so. Okay. Would you sit down, please state your name and address. Please speak into the mic so we can all understand and hear you.
Okay. Name is Krista M. Jost. I live at 2703 Haas Road in Kokona, 54130.
Thank you.
And then I guess I've never had to fight for my operator's license in the more than 12 years I've been serving. So I guess I didn't really think I'd have to go this far. I thought it was 7 years for one on the application, and the speeding tickets are more than 3 years now, so I also didn't know that I was supposed to post those either. So that is my mistake, and I apologize. Like I said, in my letter that I've also handed in, I don't know if you guys have read any of them, but this felony is 10 years old, and I have suffered immensely from this. It was a mistake. I've learned from it. I've done nothing but speeding tickets since then. I even got my passport. I went to school to be EMT, only to get more than halfway through it and have to get kicked out because of this. I'm not who I was 10 years ago at all. And I don't think it's fair. I've taken kids in. My daughter is now in pre-basic training for Marines. I'm nothing who I was at all. And I just don't think it's fair that I continuously have to keep fighting for something that I did 10 years ago that I'm not who I was. So, and if you read any of the letters, I think my work speaks for itself. He's willing to come here and speak for me. He knows what I do. He knows how hard I work. I just feel like I would really appreciate a second chance at either reapplying or whatever I have to do. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for
Go
you.
ahead.
Why didn't you list that police officer knows you better than any of us do. Why didn't you list those things that he talked about on your application?
I listed what I had, but like I said also, I thought it was 7 years. So I didn't even know if I really had to list that. And the speeding ticket is more than 3 years now. So as he stated, he said over 2 for speeding tickets.
On the application, it says applicant criminal history. Have you ever been arrested or convicted of a felony, misdemeanor, citation, or ordinance violation? It doesn't give a time frame on the application. It says, have you ever been? Those timeframes that I listed are simply my guidelines.
Okay. So again, I have definitely listed my felony. I definitely take responsibility for what I did. I did my time. I did 5 years of probation, not a single mark, not a single derogatory, nothing. Finished, completed, did everything. I don't know. And in my however many years I've been bartending, I've never been denied. I've never had to go through this. I even have a passport, like I can go across country. Like, it's just, just kind of blew me back a little bit, I guess. But I definitely did state it in the application.
And just to be clear, I'm not here arguing against her or anyone else. I'm just here to demonstrate what my guidelines are when I review these. So I just want you to understand as well. I appreciate what you've done in moving your life ahead, but this is what I do for everyone. I don't have all that background that you just gave as well, but either way, I apply these guidelines to everyone. So I don't want you to think I'm arguing against you. I just want you to know what my reasoning is for what I've done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So Chief, just so we all have some clarifying questions. So felony is 10 years and she is approaching 10 years, correct?
Well, at the time of the application, she wasn't quite 10 years. There was probably another 15 days or something like that. So now she's over 10 years, yes.
Okay. And then, so in this situation, you could say technically 2 different potential denial options was the felony was listed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that was good. It's the,
It wasn't that it was listed. It wasn't listed correctly, though.
okay. And then it's the leaving it off, the 2 instances off the application.
Right, and that's the failure to disclose, which is an automatic disqualifier as well.
Okay. I was just understanding that. Do you guys have any follow-up questions, concerns? I'll just say, for me personally, I appreciate that you are now at this point past the 10-year point. And I think your letters of recommendation do speak to your work history. So I will definitely take that into consideration, but I do also see that you are 10 years post this instance. If at all possible, since he took his time out of his night to come, would you guys be open to opening the floor to let her current manager talk, since he took the time to come today?
I don't have a problem in opening the floor. I think the more information we get, the better off we are to make a good judgment on this, so
Okay, move to open the floor?
I'll second that.
Okay, you can, yep, you just go up and then just list your name and address for the record.
Hi, Robert John Syke III, 4910 Founders Terrace, Hobart, 54155. I'm here on behalf of Krista, but more than anything, I'm here on behalf of people who do change. We all have past, some good, some bad. I've done a lot of dumb things in my life. I met Krista a little over a year ago while she was bartending at Indoozy Sports Bar. I took the effort and I approached her about coming to work at D2. I could see she was a leader. She commanded respect from customers and other employees. You don't find that in people these days. In the world we're living in right now, to find someone who's willing to work is very difficult, let alone willing to work late hours. I mean, this obviously is, at times is not the best job in the world, being a bartender, but it pays the bills. She has a daughter. She's hardworking. You just don't see that these days. And her and I, we've talked a little bit about her past. Yeah, she messed up. She should, based on what the chief said, there are things that should have been disclosed. I didn't know that, but when I look at someone and I see how hard they're willing to work and to provide for their family, to me, I'll always give them the benefit of the doubt. That's about it. You just don't see people like Krista anymore. You don't see the hardworking individual. And for someone who could walk into D2 and command the respect that she has from her fellow employees, I think she deserves the chance to get a bartender's license. So that's it. Thank you for my time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Do we have to move to go back?
we'll move to close the floor.
So moved.
Okay, all right, thank you. Did Did I hear you say that you have bartended previously at a local establishment here?
Yeah, I was a manager at Anduzzi's. even. In Ashwaubenon, this was a renewal.
Oh, the renewal, okay, excuse me, I missed that part. All right, I'm with you now. Okay, any other questions?
I
If not, I'll move for,
will move to grant the appeal for the denied operator's license. Is that the right way to say it? To grant her her bartender's license.
to grant her a bartender.
Yeah, so grant the appeal.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
You got a second, okay. Any other questions before we make a motion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
No,
Opposed?
no.
No, okay, no. We got 3 ayes, 1 no, all in favor?
Well, we don't have to do an all in favor.
We do. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, we got 1 no, okay.
Okay.
All right, we did that twice. Okay,
So this will go to the village board on October 27th. If at all possible, I would recommend coming. Just if you can.
we do
It always
make,
shows,
we do make one request. Don't you screw up again, because we'll pull them licenses faster than you got them. You know, you're going a little bit of my wishes, but be careful.
thank you for coming.
Okay. Item 2. Action to amend license premise description, TJ Maxx Barbecue LLC, doing business as TJ Maxx Barbecue.
Where are you seeing TJ Maxx?
Yeah, I don't know where you got that, but let me interject, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
You
T-Bacon.
can tell how much I like that.
So Tom and Jennifer Bacon, owners of T Bacon Barbecue, right down the street at 2052 Holmgren, request approval to amend their license to allow outdoor events, mainly focus on Packer games, but that may not happen this year. Before you is a brief synopsis of what the Bacons have provided is regarding their plans and the layout. I did forward this onto public safety for input as well as zoning. Basically, what they're asking is no different than their neighbors right down the street at the more larger establishments, if you will. So if you have any questions for the Bacons, they are here at your disposal.
Of course, I'd like to ask the chief's input, if you've seen this.
Yes, I have seen it. My initial response was, well, I'd like to see a little more robust fencing and secure area. I was reminded that this is basically allowed to happen throughout the entertainment district. So with that, I don't want to make them do anything that we haven't already made other folks do already. So I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Question I have is the layout of the property here. I'm assuming you're serving their food and beverage out of the side door.
Out of the side door, correct.
I kind of know the building.
North side.
I kind of know the building quite well. The question I have is on the west end of the property, you got storage, I believe it's saying. What is that?
That's the fenced-in area that locks,
That's a
the
what?
fence locks. It's a fenced-in area, and that's back there is where our
That's flush
smoker
with the
is.
building alongside of it. It doesn't extrude from the front of that building.
So there's our building, and then there's Packerland Glass has got the red building, it's just
Right.
like their workshop. And then next to that is the fenced-in area.
All right, so that storage does not go
Not really
in front
storage,
of that
it's where we
building
keep
at
our
all.
smoker, that's where we do all our smoking.
See what I'm saying? That building, that should be back here. All right, I know, I remember having conversations with you. The diagram here shows the building out in the parking area. It should be alongside of that building that Packerland Glass has got.
Sorry. Does it say stage?
Yeah, that would be like a
Oh,
stage if we did
okay.
any live music or whatever, the stage. would be.
Oh, it's stage.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, I thought it said storage. Okay, all right.
that's my
Because the
spot.
storage is alongside of the building.
Like right here is the fencing area.
There you
That's where
go.
We do all of our cooking.
Right.
Smokers back.
Okay, all right. Now I understand that word is stage.
That's my sloppy writing. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, any questions?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, it just dawned on me looking at the diagram. So, Tom, next to you, that building, that's Packerland
That's Packerland Glass and,
to the
but that whole parking
west of you.
to the west of us, yes. It's like, that's where they build their frames in there.
Is that parking lot essentially theirs? Do you need to get permission from them?
No, the whole parking lot is mine.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then they got the parking lot on their other side.
Right, okay, great, thanks.
All right, I'll make a motion to amend the licensed premise description for T Bacon's Barbecue LLC, doing business as T Bacon's Barbecue.
Second.
Okay, we got a first and a second, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Back to the drawing board.
Items for next agenda.
Yes, this is going to the village board for final approval. Okay, items for next agenda.
I do have a question. So with the, not for you guys, you're good. So with our liquor license process, is it worth somehow, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe trying to call out that conviction area more? I don't know if maybe we word it differently or something. I'm just thinking, I mean, I look at it and I see, have you ever, and that's, it's list everything. But maybe is there a better way to call it out or leave a bigger spot for it or something that draws an applicant's attention to it?
Yeah, so here's what I recommend, and I actually talked to our village attorney today about this as well.
Okay.
We're going to put my guidelines, I think, on the next agenda, so we can all take a look at it and decide what we like, what we don't like on the guidelines. If you think, and maybe we'll have Tony come along to that meeting as well, and if you think that we need to amend the application, reword it, whatever you want, because I have denied a lot of them based on failure to disclose, but if it's minor stuff like a speeding or operating without a license, that type of thing, we've kind of allowed them to submit a second application with that information on there, because a lot of people are confused. They don't realize they have to put everything down. And so we might want to take a look at that and see if we want to reword that a little bit. So maybe we don't have as many denials coming through and appeals, that type of thing. So we can talk about that on the next agenda, I guess.
And just as a point of information, when applicants do come to the office of the clerk treasurer, the ladies and myself will flat out say anything. I mean, I've already told people, I don't care if it's a parking ticket from 15 years ago, write it down.
Oh, I believe it.
So
But I know people don't always listen.
all the folks are forewarned in one fashion or
Yep.
another.
Yeah, and I think I've been doing this enough now where Beth is like, yeah, just so you know, if you don't put it on there, the chief's going to deny it, right? So they're aware of that. And all this information, it's not like they have to remember it. It's all out on the Circuit Court Access website. They can find it readily available on the internet for them. So
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, that maybe even on there, like, because it, it says one sentence, have you ever been listed of felony, misdemeanor, et cetera, et cetera. For reference, check Wisconsin CCAP. If not listed, license will be denied.
Well, I think Beth is actually telling them that to go look on that website itself, so.
I'm just wondering if maybe it's printed, then I'm more like, okay, now you really left it off. Like, you were told it,
Yeah.
you read it, you left it off. I'm gonna have a hard time, like, I wanna say reversing your decision, because it's right in front of you.
What we pull is a little more in-depth than CCAP. What the chief has is
Yeah.
further it more in depth than what
Yeah.
we can pull in the office.
Yeah, and that's true when it comes to criminal convictions, but when we're talking about traffic offenses and stuff like that, they can get that very easily, so.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea that we're going to bring it to the next meeting and we can have a little further discussion on it, just to hopefully help your burden, help, the whole process, maybe make it.
Yeah, and just know I don't take offense when you decide to reverse a decision. I'm doing it strictly based on the guidelines that I have. I don't have the option of having 3 or 4 letters of reference and what she's doing now and all that type of stuff. I don't look at that stuff. I just look at the application, what's there, what's not there, and depending on what the convictions are, like certain convictions, I will never sign off on.
Yep.
And this was one of those. So I don't care if it's 10 years or 20 years, based on what it is, I won't sign off on it.
Yep.
So that's where I noticed a little confliction between her report and then yours, and I didn't know if she understood that or not, but that's a very good question you brought up. Chief, is there ever anything that is deleted from any type of accidents, drunken driving or anything? Does that always stay on your record?
Unless you have a court order to have it removed, expunged, that type of thing, it should be on there.
It will be on there.
Out-of-state stuff is a little more difficult to find. They don't necessarily have all of the information on it that we like to have here, but most of the time, unless it's been expunged, it'll be on there.
It will be on there, okay. Okay, good idea there to update that a little bit.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yep.
That's it. That's my only
okay, are we
item.
good? Items for next agenda, bring it to the office if you have any.
If I may interject yet again, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
please note your next meeting would be slated for Election Day, and I certainly hope that does not occur.
Yeah, Terry mentioned she was going to send out, sorry.
They will discuss that and give us a date that we will be meeting, so stay tuned to your iPads or whatever information, and then that'll warn you when we're having that meeting, so. Okay, move to adjourn.
So moved.
First, second, okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, let's go home.